Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, technical schools, training programs, skilled trade professions, and career readiness skills, all designed to help you make the best career decision possible. I'm Toni Cureton, your host, and today we are with Focus Hope, and they are going to be talking about all of their pre-apprenticeship programs. Welcome back, Lynn. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm about to share my screen with you guys. If you would give me just one moment to pull up our presentation. I do have a lot of information to share today, as well as some new things.
Oh, good deal. We love new things.
Yes, and this is particularly for our Detroit residents. We have some new things coming up that could be a great opportunity. So let me go ahead and see if I have the ability to share my screen. Okay, I don't know if I need to be given permission to share my screen because I don't see it. I normally have been able to share it, but I can't right now.
Okay, remove and make. Yes. Okay, you Perfect. Should have it now. Okay, good deal.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and try and make that full size. So let me know if you guys can see this okay.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So again, thank you so much for having me. My name is Lynn Zamora. I am one of the workforce development specialists at Focus Hope. We are a nonprofit and we offer free career training for those who are 18 years and up with a high school diploma or a GED. And we do have a lot of offerings coming this year. We do start our classes pretty frequently. So generally within, for our most popular programs, we start every 1 to 2 months. So there's opportunities for people to get started pretty quickly if this is something that piques their interest. So this is our current training opportunities that we have. Right now, we are happy to say that we have been able to bring the in-person learning experience back to our campus on Oakman Boulevard. What we have right now is a hybrid format. So generally, the way that things work is where we used to have students in a computer lab or a standard classroom, we're now having them take virtually from home. So this is a good opportunity for people who still need the hands-on component with training in order to learn best, but it does remove some of the barriers with transportation. When our students would have normally just been in person in a classroom, they can take that from home. And we do have the opportunity to also provide loaned laptops as well as some resources for low cost or sometimes even no cost internet services. So we have our industrial manufacturing training pathways. Industrial manufacturing is kind of our bread and butter that we've been doing since the 1980s, and that is how we got started in this in the training sector with our Manufacturing Training Institute. But we also have the inclusion of our Information Technologies Pathways program. We also have a CDL, which is a CDLA trucker program, which includes work readiness as well as entrepreneurship for those who want to become owner-operators, and a construction program. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about each program, but our construction program is partnered with a carpentry school, which also gives students the opportunity to apply for an apprenticeship. So I know one thing that Toni shared was that there's pre-apprenticeship opportunities, and so a lot of these programs do have pathways directly to connect students and graduates with apprenticeship opportunities. I'll also talk a little bit briefly about our tree trimming with DTE. Right now, that program is on pause because we are waiting for DTE to schedule the next dates for their Tree Trim Academy. I still want to share this because even if we may not offer it this year, we do anticipate potentially starting this partnership again to offer this class. And it's one that's been very successful and popular with students. So I do want to make sure that people have an introduction to that, to know that that is an opportunity. So just a high-level overview of our industrial manufacturing training pathways. We do call these the pathways program because graduates of these types of trainings aren't just going to go into they're not just being funneled into one particular job. There's multiple different job titles that students would be qualified for once they graduate this training program. So they start off with the high-low and logistics. So they're learning how to operate a forklift. They're getting certified through Focus Hope with that. They're also getting their Michigan OSHA 10-hour certification, which is a safety training. Then once they complete that, they will transition over to the CNC, which is the computer numerical control manufacturing. For those who have ever been in a machine shop, you may have seen these really big boxy machines where machinists were inputting coordinates to create pieces and parts. So you'll be learning about those different types of CNC machines, the lathes, the mills. You'll be getting industry recognized credentials through the National Institute of Metalworking Skills. Once you can complete that, you're going to go into our automation and design course, which will be giving you an introduction to the robotics, the welding, the computer aided design. So you learn about 3D printing, have the opportunity to actually 3D print something as a class project. You'll also get your FANUC handling tools and operations programming certification. So these are all industry recognized credentials that are geared towards making you attractive to employers and making sure that once you graduate, you will be able to get employed and well on your way into your career. So this is a bit more in depth. This is just kind of giving people a high level overview again of what are the concepts, what are some of the things that you would be learning when you were enrolled in this class. So like shop math, blueprint reading. So you're going to learn how to read blueprints. You're going to get some of the things that are bundled into all of our classes, like the work readiness component, the computer enrichment, because we know that being comfortable with technology is not just beneficial, obviously, to taking a hybrid class, but it's also something that everyone needs to have when you're going to work. You're going to learn about the financial literacy aspect of things. So financial literacy, obviously, we meet people at all different places in their career. We may be meeting somebody who is getting their first job post-graduation of high school, but we also may have people who are seasoned, who are maybe learning to, coming here to just learn a new skill, transition to a different career, or maybe just looking to get industry recognized credentials so that they can move up within their career, demand higher pay. And this is an opportunity to do that and learn about how to manage your money, how to set financial goals for yourself. Everyone's goals may be different. Someone may be looking to purchase their very first vehicle. Somebody may be looking to move into their first apartment post-graduation of high school. Others may be looking to buy a home or have significant repairs that they want to make to their home or to a vehicle. And they need to be connected with a financial literacy coach to help make sure that those goals can become reality. Our financial literacy coaches come from the Center for Working Families, and so they have a lot of other connections to great resources that people can qualify for just by virtue of being a student at Focus Hope. So I do like to talk about that because I think that can benefit everybody, regardless of where you're at in your life and in your career. And then again, with the automation and design, you're learning, but when we talk about like the NX CAD, solid modeling, computer aided designs, you will be receiving laptops as a student that'll be loaned to you that are already have the software for you to be able to follow along in class and use these different these softwares and be able to do simulations. And so, you know, when you get to that automation and design, for instance, you're going to start off on your computer doing some simulations via the software. But then once you come in person for your classes, you're going to start on simulator. So there's an actual welding simulator that you will work with before you'll master that and make sure that you are safe and confident utilizing that. And then you'll transition to actually welding. And you'll work hands-on with the machines. And so this is a great opportunity, particularly for those who maybe don't have a background in manufacturing, to get comfortable and get confident and be able to take those skills into the workplace and into your career. And so these are some of the job opportunities that are associated with this program. So meaning once you graduate, you will be moving to our job placement department, where our manager will be talking with you about your goals, your interests, what do you see yourself within the next couple of years, and how we can pair you with an employer that is a good fit for your goals. Because while you're not obligated to accept employment with an employer that Focus Hope works with, this is a network that we will be making available to you. And so it's a situation where we make sure your resume is where it needs to be. We work with you to get that done, make sure that it speaks to all of your skills that you've gained and your credentials. And then we will actually send that to employers that we work with so that they can interview you for their open positions. So you may be going into CNC programming, a robotic technician, a manufacturing technician. For those who are just looking to get some base experience, you may be working in production, you may be a forklift operator, you also can be a CNC operator, machine operator, a general machine operator. So there's opportunities for you to kind of find your niche, find what interests you, and then kind of pursue that. So that's what you'd be looking at with the advanced manufacturing. Some more information about this is that it is 9 to 2 Monday through Friday. So it is a full-time class. The requirements are a basic reading and math assessment we administer either virtually or on campus called the CASAS. And it requires 8th grade level in reading and math. And you do need a high school diploma or a GED. I did want to share some new information that is particular for our Detroit residents who either have not worked or gone to school, either through Detroit at Work or anywhere within the last 6 months. Because one of the things we talk about here is diploma or GED. We do have some resources for that, but through the Jumpstart program within the city of Detroit, applicants for any of our training programs that are coming up between now and June can actually get paid to go to training. So they start off at $600 per month. And it will taper off. It's an 18-month tracking period. It doesn't mean that your actual training is 18 months. It just means that you will be working with a Detroit at Work career coach for 18 months. And the $600 per month stipend is to help with supportive services and to ensure that you're able to be successful. So that can be used on anything. It can be used for, just making ends meet while you're doing a full-time class, because it is kind of hard to juggle both. You can't really work full-time and go to school full-time and have the time necessary to dedicate to studying. So this can help alleviate some of that burden. So this doesn't just go for the manufacturing class. This goes for all of our training right now between now and June. So if someone is able to enroll and start for late June, I believe it is, they could qualify for this additional stipend. And so in addition to the supportive services the Focus Hope offers, which we'll talk a bit about at the end of this presentation, you will also be getting that through Detroit at Work if you qualify. So again, if you're a Detroiter who hasn't worked in the last 6 months and you haven't done any training within the last 6 months, you could qualify for this additional benefit. So keep this in mind as you're thinking about training opportunities that could interest you, but maybe you're trying to balance, can I do a class and can I still, have my basic needs met? I need to pay bills, I need to make sure that I have gas in my car, that kind of thing. Transportation is obviously very important as you transition in your career. So these are some things to think about as you move forward. And then I also want to talk about our information technology program, because we know that IT is essential to pretty much everything that we do. We have bulked up our IT program, which is a 15-week course. Again, we call that Pathways because, as we'll see, there's different content covered within each module, and there's different pathways that somebody may go down in their career as they're figuring out what they like to do in IT. So we start off with the basics, which is IT fundamentals. I know a lot of times people hear IT, they may get a little, intimidated if they think, well, I'm not an IT guru. All you need to have is a basic comfortability using computers, browsing the web, utilizing basic applications, because we're going to start off with IT fundamentals. You're also going to get your certified business professional in customer service certification, which is through IBTA. Once you complete that 5 weeks successfully, you will transition over to what we call our small office, home office training. You will get a certification that is called CompTIA A+. Frequently, if you look online and you start looking up job descriptions and requirements for like a PC repair technician or somebody who is like a service desk analyst, help desk support, you will see CompTIA A+ mentioned quite frequently, because this is displaying a mastery of skills in troubleshooting. So you would be someone who would be equipped to work on a company's IS team to troubleshoot all the common problems people would have with their laptops, PCs, mobile devices, print devices, and you would have a credential behind you that would certify that you have a mastery in those skills. And then more recently, we're really happy to be able to offer our programming essentials in Python. Again, you don't have to have any background in programming, but we will be teaching you Python so that at the end of it, you can become a Python certified entry-level programmer. So again, this is a little bit more information. It is quite a lot to take in, particularly if you're not, a techie. But again, you don't have to have, overload in your brain trying to figure out what all of these terms mean. It's really just to let you know, as long as you're comfortable with the computer, we're going to teach you everything that you need to know. So some of the things we talk about is, maintaining operating systems. So you would want to have this knowledge if you were somebody who help desk ticket comes through via email or web desk ticket, and you may take control of that user's computer. And then you would be looking at figuring out what that person's problem was. You may have to reset a password. You learn about physical and network security, how to manage users, set up workstations, get people connected to the shared resources that an organization or company may have, operational procedures, And so this would be a very comprehensive program for someone who has no background. And then if you do have a background in IT, that's just going to be more beneficial to you because a lot of these things won't be brand new. Maybe you're somebody who's already, I always say tinkered with computers. So maybe you're that person that in your family, whenever somebody has technology issues or problems with their computer, they go to you and say, hey, can you look at my computer? Can you see what's going on? A lot of us know people like that in our lives, but in order to, really break into and become successful in the IT industry, certifications are key. So that's what we're giving you. We're giving you the industry recognized credentials. And that's the same thing with the Python. So you're going to be learning all of the concepts of basic programming. You learn about C, Java, Python. And then at the end of it, after you've gained all this knowledge and you've also done your test preparation, you can take the test to become a Python certified entry-level programmer. And so once you complete and you move to job placement, these are some of the job opportunities that would be associated with the training. Again, everyone's going to be bringing their own background and experience. So you may have something that you're interested in as you hear these things and say, hey, this is kind of where I fit in. But, you may be a system admin, you may be a junior programmer, a desktop admin, you may be a desktop support specialist, network support, support analyst, help desk technician. What you'll find is when you start, doing your job search, if this is something that you find yourself interested in, there's a lot of different interchangeable job titles for people with this skill set. And so, when you start looking at some of the requirements and the daily duties, a lot of them will be the same for some of these job titles. But the idea is that, you're prepared. And even as you get this skill set, you will have something that you can speak to. And when you get those technical questions, you'll be able to answer them because you've done a comprehensive training for 15 weeks, as well as our job preparation that we do to make sure that, especially if this is a new field that you are breaking into, something that you've never done before, that you feel confident and you feel prepared to go and ace an interview, a technical interview for an IT job. And then finally, these are the requirements for our IT Pathways program. You do need a high school diploma or a GED. We will still administer the CASAS assessment for all of our training programs, although they may have different requirements. So you'd be looking at 7th grade math and 9th grade level reading for this program that we offer. And classes, again, will be hybrid, Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. So for this one, for these programs that we're offering right now, generally at this time right now, we're doing 3 days virtual and 2 days in person. So you'll have 2 lab days where you'll come in, and especially with IT, you may want to take apart, you may have a project where you're taking something apart, you're looking at the inner workings of a computer or a tablet or a smartphone or something like that, and you want to be able to actually touch the materials and see them and go over that as a class. Then also I want to talk about probably one of our most popular programs of like the last decade. I've been with Focus Hope for about 12 years now, and particularly during the pandemic, we saw a surge in interest in CDL trucking. And that was, of course, due to the demand for CDL truckers. I think if you're ever out and about, if you pass, different companies, and you will see there's a lot of hiring going on for CDL truckers. And so with that said, there's also a lot of people who obviously want to take advantage of this and break into this field. We have offered a CDL readiness program for quite some time in partnership with the CDL trucking school. But within the last year or so, we have also implemented an entrepreneurship for owner operators because we've received a lot of feedback from our students and our graduates that with their CDLA license and some experience under their belt, they want to become owner operators of their own vehicles. And so this is just talking about our basic CDL training. So it's a two-piece component. So we do our CDL readiness, which is our contextualized work readiness program with what we call our prelude to trucking and employability skills. So it's really preparing you for success in your career in trucking. So there's things that everybody obviously should know before they take on a career like this, where you're going to be on the road. For those who opt to go over the road and drive, very, very far away, there's things that you want to be prepared for to know how to, one, make that sustainable for you. And then also if you, when you start getting ready for your job search, what are some of the things that you would be looking for in a company that you want to go and drive for? So then once you complete the readiness component, you would transition over to one of our partner CDL schools to do your application for your license upgrade, get your hands-on experience operating the trucks, and then actually apply for your CDLA license. But right now, probably the most important component that we offer is actually the logistics and transportation, because that is something that we're offering to students for free, because all of our courses are offered at no cost, but it gives you the entrepreneurship specialized training so that you will know how to, even if you're a current CDLA license holder and this is something that you're looking to do, or you're just seeking your CDLA license, what is it going to take for you to be able to become an owner operator on your own? You kind of need a roadmap for how you would do that. So you learn about the infrastructure, the transportation systems. You will get a business communication certification in addition to that customer service certification we talked about earlier through IVTA. You're going to learn about management, regulation, planning, the sales and services aspect of what you're going to be doing. You're going to build a business plan and have an opportunity at the end of the class to present that business plan before your instructional staff, a program manager, maybe another professional in the industry, so that they can give you tips and feedback on how you can kind of polish that up and make sure that when the time comes for you to actually present that business plan, you'll be prepared. And then also some information on, well, how do you fund these ventures? What are some things financially that you would need to take into consideration? Are there, resources, local resources that you can take advantage of? So there's a lot of benefits, obviously, to coming through a training program at Focus Hope, because you are also building a network with everyone that you're working with, but then also your classmates who have similar goals. So I was really pleased to see how well the last class did with that. And I was able to listen into some of their presentations, and they were all really, really solid. So this is a great opportunity for those who have the ambition to work for themselves and to kind of independently get off the ground as an owner operator in the CDL and logistics arena. And so these are the requirements. So this is a little bit different, because if you are just going to do the 8-week program, which is the work readiness component, and then upgrading your license, you don't have to have a high school diploma or GED. However, if you do want to take advantage of the entrepreneurship course, because it is at a higher level, you would need to have your high school diploma or GED before applying. 6th grade level reading and math for the 8-week, and then 8th grade level reading and math for the 15-week program in entrepreneurship. You do need to have a valid driver's license, obviously, for this program, and no violent felonies within 10 years, because the requirement within the state of Michigan to upgrade is that you don't have any felonies or anything on your record within the last 3 years as far as driving goes. So we will run a check of your driver's license with the state of Michigan to make sure that you are eligible to upgrade. And if something were to come up and an applicant was not eligible to upgrade, what they would do is they would tell you the month and the year when you would be eligible to upgrade your license within the state of Michigan. The class times for this program will be Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 3. And your hours may differ slightly when you get to the trucking school, because their hours could be different depending on the season and the way their classes fall. But they will generally all be morning classes. And then our construction. This is another relatively new program that we have been offering. And we have one more class that is scheduled to start this year in July. This is a partnership with a carpentry school. So what we do is we cover the first 5 weeks, which is our work readiness component. We do some things like resume writing, interview skills, getting you prepped to move forward to the next phase. As far as actually going to hands-on. So we touch on some of the things like safety, what it takes to be successful in this career, what are some different career pathways you may go down. But then once you complete the 5 weeks with us, you will go over to our partner carpentry school, where you will get the 5 weeks of hands-on training. So you'll get your OSHA 30 certification, your hands-on skills. You will have the opportunity to either go to job placement in the construction field, or interview for an apprenticeship at the carpentry school. So that's a great opportunity for people who see themselves doing this more long-term to take advantage of an apprenticeship opportunity. So this is another relatively short program within 10, a total of 10 weeks that somebody could immediately get to working or take advantage of work and school with an apprenticeship opportunity. For this program, you just need a 6th grade level reading and math, a high school diploma, or a GED. You do need a valid driver's license for the construction training program, and available for the morning classes, which is 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. Again, I know we talked a little bit about this at the beginning with our DTE tree trim program. We are right now on hiatus with the DTE tree trim program, but we are hoping to bring it back. So I still want to share that for anybody who is getting this information and may want to share it with potential participants. The DTE tree trim is a collaborative program with Focus Hope, DTE, as well as HOC Driver Training School. It's an initial 7-week training program, and this is what's required. 6th grade level reading and math. You want to have a diploma or a GED. You do need a valid driver's license because participants will upgrade to a B license as part of this training program. They'll do the drug screen and a Department of Transportation physical. And class times were 9 a.m. to 4:30. If we bring the program back, I don't know if this program will be those exact hours, but they will definitely be within that range. So as I shared, it is a three-way partnership. You start off with Focus Hope to do our readiness component. We talk about safety, digital literacy. We will talk about the psychology of success. So basically, how do you get the most out of a class like this and ensure your success? And of course, you will also get that customer service certification as well through IBTA. The Tree Trimming Academy is where you go fully hands-on. So you're working with the machinery, you're learning about the safety, you're doing woodsman basics. They call it their Tree Trim 101, where they show you how to safely climb the trees. They show you how to use the machinery, how to avoid injury, all of that stuff. And then once you complete that, you go to the CDL school to get your CDLB permit. So the B permit is to drive the, it's not obviously the same as the A where you're driving the big rigs. It's to drive like the bigger vehicles and vans that you would see, when you see the DTE trucks out in your neighborhood, trimming trees or doing line clearance. This is also tied to an apprenticeship opportunity. So for this program, you would, you would have an opportunity to immediately start work as a contracted tree trimmer with DTE, and then also join their apprenticeship program. So as an apprentice, you have an increasing pay scale. So last class that we ran, I believe that students were making a little bit over $18 an hour starting out as tree trimmers. And every 6 months, as your skill set is increasing, your pay is also increasing. So at the end of the training program, you have a journeyman credential, which is a portable credential you can take anywhere in the country, and this experience under your belt. So it's a great opportunity for those who could see this as a long-term career, something they see themselves doing. And so we really do hope that we'll be bringing this program back in the near future. So still wanted to share this information so people can be aware of this great program that we had been offering and hope to offer again in the near future. And then finally, I want to talk about some of the additional services that students get and graduates receive once they complete our program. So I talked earlier about the additional services that are available, particularly for the Detroit residents, and that's fantastic. But there's also things that Focus Hope just automatically does for students, regardless of their residency. Even if they're outside of the city of Detroit, which is barrier removal assistance. So once you actually come into our orientation on the first day, we usually will share with you what we call our service strategy form, which is to let you kind of share with us, do you have any concerns? Are there any barriers? Are there things that you anticipate maybe keeping you from being able to be successful? Maybe there's things in the past that have been barriers for you, maybe keeping a job or being able to stay in school. And so we do barrier removal assistance. Some of those things can include transportation. Some of those things could be housing, clothing, emergency shelter referrals, the financial literacy component. So sometimes when we talk about financial literacy, it's kind of like, well, what is financial literacy? Well, let's say there's goals that you've set for yourself and things that you want to do, but your credit score has not been the greatest and you don't really know where to start. How do you repair that? Now, do you need to hire a professional? Do you need to, who do you need to talk to get some advice? And nobody wants to accidentally be scammed in searching for that help. And so our financial literacy coaches have a general class that they teach while your classes are in session, but then they also will meet with you one-on-one to talk about individual goals. They will pull your credit score if you choose to and kind of talk about, okay, what do we need to do to get the score up? Or what do we need to do to take it to the next level? And so having that assistance and just having someone who can work with you one-on-one is a huge benefit for anyone who is transitioning in their career, to be able to ensure that, again, even once you get employed and you have more money coming in because you've gotten yourself to a better place in your career, how do you make best use of that? Job placement assistance. So as a graduate of a Focus Hope training program, you have access to lifetime job placement assistance. I have students that, they perceive me working at Focus Hope and they'll come back and say, hey, I got laid off from this job. I've been out for several years. I'm coming because I want to see if I can update my resume and get job placement assistance. And we absolutely will do that. So many students who come through our program, before they even graduate, they have a job that is lined up, which is great because that is our ultimate goal, is to get people swiftly transition from training into employment. one of the things that I always share with students up front when they're applying and they're kind of weighing their options about what it is that they want to do training wise, we call this job or career training because it is specifically tied to you becoming employed, and not just, employed anywhere, but employed in the field that you trained in. Because the way that we continue to obtain funding to offer these programs at no cost to the student, our programs are entirely free. Students do not have to take out a loan, apply for grants, anything like that. Our programs are free and you will be fully funded. The way that we do that is by demonstrating that our students and our graduates are successful. So they complete the program, they get their credentials, and they end up working in the field that they trained in. So it will obviously be of utmost importance to us to make sure that graduates of our programs are successful. So some of the things that kind of lead up to that are the resume development. So you'll work with our placement manager to make sure that your resume is speaking to your skill set. You will do what we call our job club, which is sessions that are hosted where we may have employers come in and talk to students, either recent graduates or people who are about to graduate. And we do, of course, invite alumni who are seeking employment as well to, or, there may be some other topics that are covered, like how do you do effective job search? What are some tips? What are some tricks? What are some things that work? There's a lot of social networking that can be involved nowadays with job search through a platform like LinkedIn. And, our students, most of our students at this point are able to get we work with LinkedIn, and so they will come in and do a job club where they talk about how you use LinkedIn, how do you use that to efficiently network. They will receive, I believe, a year's worth of a premium account on LinkedIn, which gives you some great opportunities for some trainings that they have via LinkedIn, which is something that can be very relevant to people who are in that job search mode. And then what I talked about earlier, our employer pairing. So as you're meeting with myself and you're meeting with the placement manager to talk about what your goals are, to talk about some of the experience that you bring to the table and your unique gifts, we will try and pair you with employers who are in alignment with what you see yourself doing. So there's a lot of supportive services that are available to students and graduates of our programs. We do take a holistic approach in making sure that we understand that all of our students, all of our learners are adults, so they have other things that are going on in their lives. They could have other things that need to be addressed in order to be successful, just like it is for all of us. And so in addition to these things that I've talked about here, we also have that great resource for Detroit residents where you can get an even larger stipend for participation, because we do a small stipend associated with all of our programs, which is about $100 based upon attendance every 2 weeks, which is there to help with some of the things like transportation, getting to class a couple days out of the week where they're in person. Maybe you need to pay for a phone bill or an internet bill. We want to make sure that that wouldn't be a barrier to someone being able to join our class. And then finally, I want to share, this is the Workforce Development and Education Specialist team, myself, Alexis Dunlap, Tamika Johnson, Tasha Lord, and Arnetta Moore. All of our students are assigned a specialist to work with them one-on-one through the admissions process, as well as through their training program and getting ready for placement. So we work with students through the entire life cycle. We have found that it is most helpful to someone's success to have a point person who they can go to for all of their needs while they're going through recruitment, enrollment, being a student, going through test preparation, getting ready to graduate, getting ready to become employed. And so everyone who comes through our training program will work with someone on the Workforce Development Specialist team. And what will you need? So what would a candidate need to enroll? So you would need to take the CASAS assessment exam. It's a basic reading and basic math test that we talked about. There is a drug screen that would be administered during the first week of class. You do need to have a valid ID, so picture ID, so your license or state ID, a social security card, a birth certificate, and high school diploma or GED, or transcripts. We do accept transcripts as well. And so the birth certificate isn't required for all programs, but it's a good one to have just in case that program is funded in a way that they would require the birth certificate. And then finally, I know I shared a lot of information. I did try to make good time, but if anybody has any questions about the training programs we talked about, I would be happy to answer.
You guys, if you want to ask questions, you can unmute and ask away, or you can type them in the chat and I'll be happy to read them.
I just wanted to clarify, so this is specifically for Detroit residents? Or how far out can people be a part of this?
Yeah, so it's not unique to Detroit residents. We service people all throughout the state of Michigan. For us, I mean, primarily the most of our students do come from the Metro Detroit area. We found that we were having people further and further out when we were doing our virtual classes because the transportation wasn't an issue with them having to come to our campus because we are located in Detroit. However, it's not just Detroit residents. We service people all throughout the state of Michigan who want to do our training, as long as they can, now that we have the in-person component, as long as they can make it to our campus for that, we will, most of our programs do have to be majority of Detroit students in order to receive funding, but we have many students in every class that we offer that are outside of the city of Detroit.
And you do provide transportation barrier-free for some that need it?
Yep. So for instance, before students receive their first stipend, so the stipends are based upon 2 weeks of participation in class. So it's generally within like week 3 that they receive their first stipend check, which is the $10 per day or $100 every 2 weeks, which is to be used for transportation assistance in most cases. Before students receive that, if they need assistance to come on campus for their class within those first 2 weeks, we will assist. So we can either do things like gas gift cards, or we can do bus tickets, depending on how they would need transportation.
Okay. And then it says it looks like a really great program. Thank you for the information. Good deal.
Thank you.
I did have a question on the construction training. So they go through your training first, and then they go to the carpentry school for further training?
Yes. Yeah. So we're partnered with a carpentry school. So they start off with us and we do our contextualized work readiness component to prepare them. And then once they complete, they will go to the carpentry school for their hands-on training for residential construction.
Okay. And once they leave your training, they are then eligible to apply to the carpentry apprenticeship program and work and learn and be trained and earn at the same time. That is so awesome.
Yeah, we really encourage people to take advantage of that because it gives you an opportunity to continue your education and then therefore demand a higher pay, but you're still able to have an income coming in. So you don't have to put that on hold or try and find something to, work, something that, you can go to work and go to school at the same time. So I always tell people, like, if you see this as something viable that you see yourself doing for the next several years, think about apprenticeship because it's an opportunity for you to get to a place where you'll be making much more money. But in the meanwhile, you have, your needs can still be met because you're going to be having that income coming in.
Now, do you have a rolling admission, meaning throughout the entire year, or is it like September, January?
We do have rolling admissions, so we're always enrolling for programs, and even I'll use the construction as an example because right now, as I shared, we only have one more class that is on the schedule, which is the one that's going to be starting in July. Okay. However, because we know that there's a good chance that we'll continue to offer this training program, and add additional classes after this contract period has ended. If we still have applicants who come in, like let's say in August and September and so on, that are like, I'm interested in pursuing construction training, what we would do is we would have a wait list going so that when we start that program back up again and we get start dates for additional classes, we'd be able to reach out to people and say, hey, if you're still seeking this, we're looking at offering it in, December, we're offering it in January, and we would let those participants know.
Good deal. Lynn, do you have a digital flyer that you can send me on that I can publish with our students?
Yep. I do have a digital flyer for our current training offerings that I can send. I think it was just updated or it's about to be updated. So I will make sure that you receive that. So that way, I think it's also a interactive flyer so people can utilize that. But sometimes I think that it's a little bit easier if a person has a direct contact. So certainly if you have participants who think that the programs that we offer could be a good fit for them, they can reach out to me directly, via the contact information in my signature of my email that we've corresponded on before. And I'd be happy to, talk with them, give them an overview a little more in depth about maybe particulars that they're interested in. And if they choose to move forward, we do have a totally virtual admissions process now, which can be done pretty quickly.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. Any other questions, you guys, before we bring this to a close?
Is this phone number 313-494-4300? Is that your phone number or is that general?
That is the general admissions line. If you would like, I'll see if I can access the chat really quickly. And if I can, I will put okay, yes, I can. I will put my direct contact in there because it's also, it is a work cell phone. So I know a lot of people prefer to make contact via text. And so if they want to text, this is a phone number that can be text. It is the 670 number I'm sending. And that is my direct contact. So if you have participants who are interested, they can reach out directly to me at 313-670-1474 or via the email that I shared. And what I would do is I send them all of our virtual admissions forms because they can be completed on a phone or on a computer. And if somebody has the right technology, they don't have to come in person for their assessment or anything like that. So it depends on the individual, but it's a good opportunity for people to be able to get things done quickly if they want to start like a class that's starting within the next couple of weeks.
Good deal.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
I went ahead and stopped sharing. I just want to say thank you so much for having me. I'm always happy to be able to share information with you guys about the training programs we offer. If you have other questions that you think of, after we get off the call, feel free to shoot me an email or text. And I'd be happy to speak with you if you have any questions.
Good deal. Thanks so much, Lynn. We appreciate your time. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you all next time. Everybody have a great day.